Hello, and welcome to Tier 3 of the Dokkan Battle Iceberg. We are now, including this video, 3 videos in. We are really plugging along now. I'll save most of the thanks for the end, but seriously, thank you for all the views, likes, subscriptions, and especially the kind comments. They really do mean a lot to me, and I'm happy. I'm doing all this work for the enjoyment of others and not just my own. But, yeah, anyway, we'll get to the sappy stuff later, I promise. From here on out, the videos are bound to get longer, which means that there might be some future tiers split into parts. Heck, even this one might be. I'll see what the runtime looks like when I finish editing, but y'all already know the answer, so I'll just get on with it. There's no time to waste, as there are a lot of entries to get through in this tier. So with that being said, let's continue our descent and dip down just beneath the waves. Kicking off Tier 3 of the Iceberg, we have Early Health Bar and Animation Skip. These are a couple of rare bugs that sometimes occur when you attack an enemy. With the early health bar, the enemy's health bar may decrease before the animation finishes playing. For the skip, there are other times where the attack animation is just skipped entirely, but damage is still dealt to the boss. These bugs can occur with both normal and super attacks, but in my experience, it's more common with normal attacks than super attacks, but they can happen on supers. As far as we're aware, this bug has been in the game since around 2017, and it's still yet to be fixed, meaning it can still occur today, although relatively rare to experience. Next up, we have cards discolored. This refers to card arts where the character has had improper coloring and has since been fixed. Some specific examples that we have here are the SSR of Tech Golden Frieza. Before, his hands and feet were gold instead of purple, which is how they're actually supposed to appear. This was fixed in 2016. Another card that had a change was TUR Physical Grade 8 Borgos. His chest plate coloring was changed from yellow to blue. This fix happened in 2020. Yet another card is the TUR of Tech LR Jiren. The color of his ripped shirt was changed from black to red to fit, the actual color of Jiren's outfit. This change also occurred in 2020. Another color change that's occurred was for SR Physical Cell Perfect Form. His nails were changed from white to black. Yet another change that occurred in 2020. And finally, the last color change I have in this little list is Int Demigrad's transformation into his final form. His chin color was changed from blue to white. Yet another change in 2020. Now, card discoloration isn't the only reason that Akatsuki's changed some card arts. One perfect example of this is Tech Transforming Frieza, who originally didn't have an aura in his card art, but with the sticker update, he was given one so that he could have a sticker effect. There's other examples of this, but these are just a few, and this entry is specifically referring to cards where their colors were swapped and fixed. Next entry, Physical Goku Black, JP vs Global. For absolutely no reason whatsoever, Physical Goku Black is better on Global than on JP. The card differs between both versions with his HP and attack stats, as well as his passive. The differences with the stats are that his HP and attack are higher on Global. The rainbowed and fully easy aid stats for JP are the HP, 18,505, and the attack, 16,458. The rainbowed and fully easy aid stats for Global are the HP, 19,395, and the attack, 18,091. His passive on Global is only slightly different, but it makes a big difference. There's an added in Extreme Class Key plus 3 in his passive, which stays for both his normal and easy A passive. The rest of his passive, both normal and easy A, stay the same between both versions. This change may have come about due to some complaints of people saying he was underwhelming when he first released on JP, but there's no real confirmation on that one considering he was never updated on JP. Changes of this fashion have even been made since then, though these are not exclusive to either one of the versions. A couple examples of that include physical Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks being buffed, and even as recently as July of this year, with LR/STR Vegito Blue's EZA being buffed. Both of these buffs occurred due to backlash and complaints from the player base. Next on the iceberg, we have disappearing guest support. I'm not 100% sure here, but there's a couple possibilities for this entry. The first one is, despite being a high rank, players would sometimes get a support list full of low-ranking players with crappy cards as their leaders. Most of the time that I've seen this, it's usually those initial starting SRs that we used to get when you start the game, and that was usually due to people botting or re-rolling accounts, and they just dismiss the account when they're done, and the lead stays up, there to clog everyone's friends list. However, there have been some occurrences of them even being N cards. Outside of bots, it's not well known why sometimes a low-ranking player can jump up and be in the support list of a really high-ranking player, as that's usually not how the game shows you friends, but whatever. The next possibility that we have here, and the final one, is the friends list just not loading in for whatever reason. Some players have reported that they can't get the friends list to load at all, and it takes a restart of the game to get it to show up. It's unknown why that was happening, but it doesn't look like it's happened for a long while, considering the most recent post I was able to find about it, at least on the Dokkan sub, was about 4 years ago. So I'd assume that one's fixed. But the other one, considering that a lot of them are bots, seems like some of it might have been fixed with safety net stuff on JP, but who knows, it could still be out there. This next entry is kind of a big one. Dragonstone duplication. Back in 2017, there was indeed a way to duplicate stones in your inbox. This also included any other items that were in your inbox at the time, including Zenny, training items, potential orbs, etc. As you could expect, the glitch was patched out relatively quickly, and bans were doled out for those who were caught duping stones. The code that was used for this and a slight explanation were done in a video by DBZDokkanBattle on a now unlisted YouTube video. This glitch also caused a larger discussion in the community and split people on a couple sides. Some people wanted free or cheaper stones, as people would use this to profit off of, so they thought it was cool. And then the other side had people who didn't think this glitch was fair to those players who actually paid money in-game for less stones, or adhered to the terms of service that made stuff like this not allowed for the game. There's some example of this kind of discussion in this video from Animated Muscle back in the day. While I'm sure you all could go around poking the internet and find the code, it doesn't matter because, as mentioned before, it's been patched out, and if you found any other way and it became known by Akatsuki, you'd be banned for duping stones anyway, so I'm not too worried about you guys. Next up, we have copy-pasted banner art. In December of 2016, the AGL Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku banner was announced for global. In the news announcement, the banner reveal image showed STR Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta seemingly just pasted over AGL Super Vegito. Later, it was confirmed that Vegito was in fact removed from the banner and indeed replaced with STR Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. This incident caused a bit of outrage in the community, if not only just because of the crappy copy-paste job. However, this unit swap decision was made due to the secret banner that ended up being dropped on Christmas of that year, which no one knew about. This banner featured STR Super Gogeta, Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, and the missing AGL Super Vegito. This banner also included bonuses such as the Candy Cane training items, discounted summons, and a guaranteed SSR summon, which was unheard of at the time. This banner was summed up well in this Reddit post. While initially this did anger the community, since everyone was indeed excited for the return of AGL Super Vegito for the first time, Akatsuki made up for it. This was actually a good little surprise. If only we got these more often. Next entry we have here is SR AGL Goku Angel. This card was originally released on JP as a one-time only login bonus for the 20 million download celebration. On Global, however, this card's still obtainable. This card is obtained by Dokkan Awakening the R Tech Goku from the Epic Showdown event. This means that, to this day, anyone can obtain this card on Global, but only those who were around at the time of the 20 million download celebration on JP will have this card in their box. This creates some inconsistencies between JP and Global, and also makes this card extremely unique on Global. Outside of the general inconsistencies that this card is still obtainable on Global, and is also the Dokkan Awakening for the Artec Goku, which is definitely not the case on JP, this card is made extra unique by the fact that it is the only card to lose categories upon Dokkan Awakening, and also the only card to change type upon Dokkan Awakening. This is the only card to do that between both JP and Global. This guy is quite the cool little anomaly. Next up, we have Mysterious Piccolo card art. During the initial JP livestream for the 5th year anniversary, a Piccolo card art was shown during an interview segment with Ryo Horikawa, the Japanese voice actor for Vegeta. This was notably pointed out by Truth during his livestream of the 5-year stream from Bandai.
Oh, fusing with Piccolo.
Krillin. Fusing with Krillin.
Oh my god, fusing with character.
Wait, we haven't seen that
Oh,
before.
that's a different Piccolo.
Yeah, that's new art.
Yeah.
This art has never been seen before in game or in any promotional stuff before, and as of recording this, it still has yet to be seen again outside of that one occurrence in the live stream. So, it's the only time we've ever seen that art. Who knows? Maybe we'll see it in the future. Next entry is Missing Collaborations. There are a lot of events that are no longer available in the game, or at least not available year-round. Mostly these are old versions of story events or limited run events, such as the 30th anime anniversary event, Launch's Treasure Hunt, etc. But there are some collaboration events which have just never returned, which may be due to them just being a limited time. Such as the events for the One Piece Treasure Cruise crossover, it's never returned or been added to the Portal of Memories, leaving the STR Super Saiyan Bye Guys Goku to be exclusive to that time of the event being open. Or the special event for the Dragon Ball Fusions collaboration, which was unavailable for a really long time. As of writing this research last year, it wasn't even available on Global, but it was at least in the Portal of Memories for JP. But as of 2022, this has been changed, as the event returned with Awakenings and EZAs for the relevant cards, including the Tiencha for Global. It was technically available for JP late 2021, but it was early 2022 for Global. There are also some cards that just aren't available anymore, as I mentioned in the last tier. Notably, all the cards that were featured on the Arale banner back in 2016 for JP, 2017 for Global, the Awakenings for some of the free-to-play cards of that time not being available on Global, and back in the day, this used to be the same case for the Dragon Ball Fusions cards and Dragon Ball Heroes cards, until the Dragon Ball Fusion cards were just added to the general SSR pool, and the Dragon Ball Hero cards were established to all return each year with a new Dragon Ball Heroes collaboration campaign. This next entry here is just a quick one. No stones for Physical Beerus top grossing. In March 2020, during the Physical Beerus banner, JP hit top grossing. They received rewards, but the rewards didn't include stones, which was unusual for top grossing then and still kind of is now. The full list of rewards included 3,000 physical potential orbs, 1,800 small, 1,100 medium, 100 large, a grand Kai of each type, a diamond Hercule statue, 10 platinum turtle shells for each type, and then 10 story keys, 10 challenge keys, and 10 Z battle keys, all for the Portal of Memories. Things like this are quite the rarity, especially for JP, which usually gets some great top grossing, and players were definitely upset about this. Next up, we have Kid Goku's English active skill. This refers to how loud and low quality the audio is for the English version of Int Kid Goku's active skill. For whatever reason, the voice is very loud on the active skill, and the audio is very crunchy and peaks all over the place.
I'm betting it all on this! Take this!
There were also people who were complaining and saying it was bad because of the use of Colleen Clinkenbeard, who is the Funimation voice actor currently for young Gohan / Kid Goku from the era of Dragon Ball Z Kai onward, instead of Stephanie Nadolny, who was the original Funimation voice actor for young Gohan / Kid Goku. In my personal opinion, I do prefer Nadolny for Kid Goku and young Gohan, at least in the Android Cell saga, but Clinkenbeard does work well for Gohan up until the Android Cell saga, in my opinion. And, you know, I'm totally happy to share my opinion, because everyone in the Dragon Ball community just loves when people share their opinions. Every time. Next up, we have LGE, or Legendary Goku Event, variants. This refers to the different variants of the Fighting Legend Goku, Legendary Goku Event / LGE event that people have created, posted, and shared within the community. Examples include Frieza, Vegeta, Gohan, Cell, basically any character who has a lot of forms in the series to pick from. Since back in May 2021, we got the Fighting Legend Goku GT event, or GT Legendary Goku event / LGTE, and later that year we got the Fighting Legend Vegeta event, or Legendary Vegeta event / LVE, and we even got more updated missions for them with the 7th anniversary. It's definitely possible that we may be seeing more of these variants from Akatsuki in the future. Hopefully we do. These events are really fun and I'd love to see more. Next up, we have an entry on the best character in the game, Chowman OP. This entry refers to Chowman, who is, and always has been, the undisputed king of Dokkan. Best unit in the game forever and always. But in all seriousness, this entry refers to people in the community joking about how quote-unquote good Chowman is and how he's the best unit in the game. This was a long time ago, however, and back then he was obviously the weakest and one of the worst cards in the game, and being based off of a fusion of two weaker characters in Dragon Ball, Chaozu and Saibaman. You can see where the jokes came from. However, I never thought the day would come, but as of January 2022, this entry is now true. We did it, boys. We finally did it. Our God among men has finally arrived. Next entry here is 170% Pure Saiyan's lead. This entry refers to how, in the not so far away past, which as I was writing this made a lot more sense last year, but things have changed. It refers to how we didn't have a 170% lead for Pure Saiyans, or at least a good one. Now, this isn't quite talking about a full 170% across the board, which we didn't have back then, but mostly referring to how in the time of Dokkan Fest exclusive leader skills mostly being 170% to two of the main stats, being HP, attack, and defense, and 130% to the third, we didn't have a good one for Pure Saiyans. The only one we had for the longest time was the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, who transformed into Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta, the AGL one, who led Pure Saiyans, but he did not give 170% to attack, meaning that there wasn't really a good leader that we could get good damage out of. However, in August of 2021, that changed with STR Super Vegeta, who finally gave us that 170% leader that we were looking for. And that changed even further in March of this year, when the AGL Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta that transforms into Evolution Blue, as I mentioned before, got his EZA, and we now have a full 170% Pure Saiyans lead. Next up, we have level 1 Hercule statues. In a similar vein to the level 79 Hercule statues that were accidentally handed out, there was also a mistake where a level 1 Hercule statue was handed out. Actually, 2 of them were obtainable, and they also just so happen to be Platinum Hercule statues, just like the level 79 one. The 2 level 1 statues were actually obtainable from the same mission during the Part 2 missions of Global's 2020 Halloween celebration. These were available starting October 28th, 2020. The specific mission in question that had the issue that gave out these statues was win any Extreme Z battle 5 times. The issue with the mission was caught and fixed by Akatsuki relatively quick, within 2 days of the missions going live. Sadly though, I couldn't actually find any images of the level 1 statues. All I could really find were the in-game notice from Akatsuki and some Reddit posts, as the only actual proof that this happened. Despite me being around at the time, I never ended up getting any screenshots or anything of them, especially considering how quickly that whole thing was fixed since update 4.12 that fixed the level 79 Hercule statue also fixed the level 1s by just resetting the level. So, no image proof, but Akatsuki said it happened, so it happened. This next entry here is probably longer than it should be, which is probably my fault considering how long it took me to get this far in the process of making this video. Anyway, Hercule login bonus on Global. This refers to how the special Hercule login bonus event, Hercule's Heart-Pounding Gifts, is seemingly rare on Global, or at least it was for a while. For some reason, Akatsuki has cut it from a few Global celebrations despite it being present on JP during those celebrations. Celebrations where it was cut out from Global include the 2020 New Year's campaign, though this may be due to Global having the login event during their Christmas campaign, while JP did not. We'll get to that stuff in a minute. It also should be noted that this campaign on Global was also the release of Physical Piccolo, which JP received the previous summer before the 300 million download celebration, along with the login event. So, theoretically, Global should have had it, but we'll get there. STR Kefla's campaign. JP had this campaign in June 2020. Global had it in August 2020. JP had the login event here. Global did not. Cut and dry. And 2021 New Year's campaign. JP got the login event with boosted rewards even for the 2021 New Year's campaign with Pycon and Janemba. However, with the release of these cards on Global, the login event was absent from the campaign. Interestingly enough, though, there have been some differences with Global and where Global got it at a time when JP did not. This first happened when Global released STR Namek Goku. JP was getting the login event around this time with the release of Int Future Gohan, while Global got it here at the same time, which was Global's first time, with STR Namek Goku, which JP released earlier that year in 2019 without the login event present. This also happened with Global's 2019 Christmas campaign, release of STR Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. Global received the Hercule login bonus for this campaign, but JP's Christmas/Winter campaigns at that time did not have the login event, and JP also did not receive it when they had their separate campaign for the release of STR Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku the next spring, 2020. And this also happened with Global's 2020 spring campaign, the release of LR AGL Spirit Bomb Absorbed Goku. Global received the login event during the release of LR AGL Spirit Bomb Absorbed Goku, but JP did not when they released him the prior December. Additionally, to the times being kind of off as to when both sides received this event, Global also never ended up receiving the special version of the event which JP got during their 2021 New Year's campaign, where they boosted the Ultra Super and Super Lucky rewards. The event was also run on both JP and Global for the 350 million download Worldwide Celebration 2021 countdown. However, as can be seen here, the missing login events do seem to even themselves out for both versions, with 4 and 4. However, that's still no reason to be removing it from celebrations on either version. The Hercules Heart-Pounding Gifts login event was eventually replaced in October of 2021 during the Tech Kale and Caulifla celebration on JP with the Ginyu login event, Ginyu Forces Fighting Pose. As of recording, well, a few weeks before I'm recording this, we have also received another new login event for the worldwide celebration for 2022 based on the first Cooler movie. This event is labeled Off We Go, an exciting camping trip, based on the camping trip at the beginning of that movie with Gohan breaking logs. As we've seen in the months following the worldwide download celebration of 2022, the Cooler Movie Camping Trip login bonus has indeed replaced the Ginyu Force login bonus. And I'm sure we will inevitably see a new login bonus sometime around a big celebration to replace that one. And again here, as was seen before with the Hercule login event evening out, so too did the Ginyu login event, with the times on JP being 3, Tech Kale and Caulifla, New Year's 2022, the Super Saiyan 2 to 3 Goku / Kid Buu, and the Worldwide Celebration 2022 Countdown Campaign. The times on Global, also 3, Tech Kale and Caulifla, LR Goku and Piccolo Celebration, Raditz' Part 2 on JP, but Global got it in June of 2022 instead of with Raditz in August. It's a whole thing. And the Worldwide Celebration of 2022's Countdown Campaign. Another interesting thing to note here is that 2 out of the 3 of those times lined up, as the other ones really didn't before, so who knows what that means. Just adding an extra little note here while editing that I noticed since it happened recently. It actually seems like Global is outpacing JP in terms of occurrences of the Cooler Movie Camping Trip login bonus. As of now, the beginning of July, just before the 8th anniversary on Global, JP has had this login bonus 3 times. First occurring during the Worldwide Celebration of 2022, happening again for Physical Kid Goku Celebration, and the 3rd time during JP's New Year Celebration. Global has actually had this event 4 times so far, as of recording this little note here. First occurrence also being Worldwide Celebration 2022, second occurrence being Global's Christmas campaign, Part 2 of that, the 3rd occurrence being during Part 2 of Global's New Year's celebration, and the 4th occurrence happening just recently at the end of June with LR Super Boo's celebration. Overall though, this entry does bring up the point that in general, Akatsuki does like to hold this event back. Despite the seeming differences between both versions, even though it evens out, it still doesn't come around that often. And it doesn't even come around during every big celebration. Personally, I think this login event should be in more celebrations, as it does make for a nice addition, especially for smaller campaigns that really don't have much to them. Next up, we have Jiren's Ass. This refers to Jiren's prominent, chiseled ass on the Tournament of Power Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta and Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku login screen, which was introduced on JP with Tanabata 2020, July of 2020, and was the default login screen until the 6th year anniversary login screen took its place for a minute. Which, now that I think about it, I haven't found any real good logs or lists of when all the login screens occurred and also which were default at those times, meaning non-campaign related and showed up if there was no special screen. I think I'm gonna start keeping track of that, at least for Global since that's what I main, but we'll see. Next we have Summon Rituals. Back in the early days of Dokkan, people would perform little rituals in order to improve their luck with summons, and some people still do. They were never real, but as with any other luck-based activity, people came up with little rituals and thought they were fun, or some even thought that they worked. Some popular rituals include repeatedly tapping on the Kamehameha at the pull screen of the animation before pulling down the Kamehameha and holding it for specific periods of time, summoning on the toilet, summoning as soon as a banner goes live, doing group summons, which were a type of summons popularized on YouTube by Dokkan tubers, was really popular with creators Rhymestyle and Nanogenics, where you would summon at the same time as the creator during a specified section in a summon video. Summoning with friends at the same time also goes under here. Having family members, friends, significant others, etc. pull for you. Dick summons. Why are Dokkan players like this? Closed eyes summons, doing a friend point summon before a stone summon, and many more. The different theories of luck from other things in summons could also fit under here, but I'll be saving that for another entry down the road. This next entry is Dragon Ball / GT representation. Over the years, Dokkan has criminally underrepresented OG Dragon Ball and GT. More so OG Dragon Ball. Now, in recent years, in 2022 and 2023, this problem has been helped a little bit. On the Dragon Ball side of things, we've got Dokkan Fest Path to Power Kid Goku, the whole Golden Week being themed around the 23rd World Tournament in 2023, with a bunch of great cards from there and an LR Bulma. GT also got some good boosts with the 8th anniversary LR with the Universal Spirit Bomb, Tanabata with LR Super Saiyan Goku from the Baby Saga, the Fusing Super 17, LR Omega, but we've gotten some good stuff recently. That doesn't really help the problem that it's taken a long time to get here. Up until that Path to Power Kid Goku, there was a single OG Dragon Ball Dokkan Fest exclusive. It really seemed like that part of the series was just relegated to the World Tournament Dragon Ball summons or a couple random events here and there. GT definitely had the better part of that deal with having the Super Saiyan 4s, leading to lots of anniversary cards containing them. It makes sense why Dokkan put a lot more focus on mid to end Z and Super, considering that Z brings in the money, that's what's known, and Super came out right around when Dokkan did. So it kind of makes sense that that's where they'd want to pull from, especially since they were trying to get the game off the ground and get people into it and spending money. But we're over 10 years into this game. I think they can afford to let loose a little bit more and give us something like, like a Dokkan Fest Demon King Piccolo or a Dokkan Fest LR Baby, something like that. But while we're here, let's talk about the bigger problem, the crappy representation of the Saiyan Saga. Due to this next entry not being of a language I'm familiar speaking, and I'd rather not butcher it, we're just gonna have the automatic voice from Google Translate say it for me. So, this next entry is...
Chancletas.
During the 5th year anniversary on JP, someone, you/Office Ungrateful, posted the super attack animations for LR STR Zamasu Goku on r/DBZDokkanBattle. During the video of the essays, the user's mom texted them saying, "You left your
chancletas."
Since then, people memed about it a lot, with most people from that time forever associating that LR Zamasu Goku with
chancletas.
Next up, 150 Memorial Stones. Back during the worldwide celebration in 2020, Akatsuki decided to start giving out Memorial Dragon Stones for every 50 stones used in the past year, instead of the usual tickets that we've received years before. These Memorial Stones can be used to purchase tickets, 1 stone for 1 ticket, on the Dokkan Fest banner. Back in 2020, it contained every Dokkan Fest unit of the past year up to Physical Piccolo. And there were also some general pool summonable LRs included on there too, up to the 4-year top LRs. These Memorial Stones replacing tickets meant that along with being able to buy tickets, players could also purchase any of the Dokkan Fest exclusive units on the banner. The issue that stemmed from this was that many players thought that the price, 150 stones, for buying a Dokkan Fest exclusive with Memorial Stones was way too much. Essentially, that's 7,500 stones for 1 unit. This created a lot of upset players, as you can imagine, as people don't see how that would even apply to any unit out nowadays, let alone going back to the early days of cards like the original STR Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, the first Dokkan Fest, who is worth the same as a more modern Dokkan Fest. Don't understand how that works. Obviously, Super Easy A's have now changed the value of an old unit discussion, but the point still remains. Next entry is JP tier lists. This refers to tier lists made by Japanese players. So not just people who play JP, but people specifically in Japan that play Dokkan. The reason that this made it here at this point in the iceberg is because, at least for a while, these tier lists differed heavily from those of players not based in Japan. At the time of research, these tier lists tended to favor tankier units as well as stackers. A lot of these tier lists also tended to just be Japanese players choosing their favorite units, which is why, for the longest time, LR AGL Super Saiyan Gohan was the favorite #1 unit. Overall, as mentioned before, these tier lists differed heavily from most of the popular opinions held in the global player base. Next up, we have the infamous LR Kid Buu. Now, I don't say infamous because we have a bad LR Kid Buu in the game. No, it's because currently, at over 10 years into the life of the game, we have yet to see an LR Kid Buu. In fact, it took us over 5 years just to get any form of Buu as an LR. This is a very major character in the series, and many players feel that we should have had an LR of him by this point, if not more than one. As with, again, everything else, the fact that there hasn't been one has turned into a meme. There was actually a lot of hype surrounding Part 2 of the 2020 Worldwide celebration, as many players thought that, since it was themed around the end of the Buu saga, that we could finally see an LR Kid Buu. But no. Instead, we received LR Physical Super Saiyan 2 Angel Vegeta. Although we have received quite a few celebrations with either Buu Saga theming or Buu Saga somewhere within the theme, so who knows where all that leaves us on the road to LR Kid Buu timeline. The next entry on the list we have is the last 2 item slots. So, you start the game with 3 item slots, and the ability to only carry 1 of an item in each slot. Once you gather the Dragon Balls through the story, you can access a wish in the first set of wishes to unlock the 4th item slot, as well as the ability to carry 2 copies of an item in each slot. Up until the 6th anniversary, there were another 2 item slots that were locked, that everyone expected would be unlocked eventually, but never came to pass. The reason for this never coming to pass is that the space was instead converted to be used for the support memory system. While the support memory system has turned out to be a pretty good change, it is interesting to think about what the game would kind of look like with those extra 2 item slots. Things like, would it increase the amount of items per slot that we could carry? Or, would it change the balance of other events? Who knows? The next entry we have here is Gohan Teen. This refers to how non-Ultimate Gohan cards from Super onward, which for a long time were mostly just represented by Resurrection F era Gohan, are labeled as some form of Gohan Teen, despite clearly being an adult at that point in the series. Specific examples include R-Tech Gohan Teen, Resurrection F, SR STR Super Saiyan Gohan Teen, Resurrection F, SR Physical Super Saiyan Gohan Teen, Resurrection F, and yes, as recently as 2022, SSR AGL Gohan Teen from Dragon Ball Super Superhero. The man literally has a wife, preschool-aged child, and a professional, scholarly level job. But no, Teen Gohan. Next up, we have Global Exclusive Wallpaper. So, there used to be a few in-game wallpapers that were exclusive to Global, with a wallpaper being exclusive to JP. The original wallpaper that was exclusive was the Super Dragon Ball Heroes wallpaper from the Super Dragon Ball Heroes World Mission Crossover campaign. Some other exclusives that were only there for Global include the Dragon Ball Super Goku Black login screen wallpaper, the Goku/Frieza Namek Saga login wallpaper, and the Super Saiyan 4 Goku/Vegeta and Gogeta login screen wallpaper. The Goku Black one being received from a general wallpaper voting campaign, and the other 2 being received from Global exclusive campaigns. JP's one wallpaper was from a wallpaper voting campaign that they had as well, which was Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta login screen wallpaper. For a while, these used to be exclusive, and of course outside of the Dragon Ball Heroes one, it was just simply because through all these voting campaigns, the results weren't the same all the time. So there were some differences. However, with the 10th anniversary, Akatsuki made the Goku Frieza Namek Saga login screen wallpaper and the Super Saiyan 4 Goku Vegeta and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta login screen wallpapers both available between both versions, so JP finally got access to them. This means that the only exclusive wallpapers left are the Super Dragon Ball Heroes wallpaper on Global, the Dragon Ball Super Goku Black login screen wallpaper on Global, and the Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta login screen wallpaper on JP. As to why Akatsuki didn't add those wallpapers in for the 10th anniversary stuff, who knows. Next, we have Co-op Campaign Stamina Missions. Mostly sure that this refers to the first implementation of an in-game UI for Global/JP co-op missions during the worldwide celebration in 2020. This allowed for Akatsuki to directly implement co-op missions in-game for these celebrations between both versions. This system is also used for a kind of multiplayer experience with missions on just one version, where players usually end up slightly competing with a ranking system, but mostly working together to complete a big mission, such as using the count of all players to complete a specific stage 3 million times. These kinds of missions that are only on one version usually appear around the time of the anniversary. This UI is in the same tab as regular missions, and also shows a new icon over the old mission icon to show players that special missions are active. When this was first used for the worldwide celebration, going into the mission tab would default to the co-op missions, and not the regular missions for the game. This obviously upset a lot of players as they were mostly trying to access regular missions such as dailies, but they were forced to go through the co-op tab first. Along with this, once the co-op missions were all completed, Akatsuki just kept the UI section up and didn't remove it. This also meant that even though the co-op missions were done, the UI still was the default page when you opened the mission tab. Since this original occurrence, there have been more sets of co-op missions both between the both versions and on each version, and Akatsuki has fixed the aforementioned problem players initially experienced. Next up, we have quite the infamous one, F You celebration. In November 2017, Global had the Thank You celebration, which was the equivalent to JP's Golden Week celebration that occurs towards the end of April. This celebration was the release of the Dual Dokkan Fest with Int Super Gogeta and STR Super Janemba. Due to everyone's hype around the banners, once the banners dropped in-game, the amount of players logging in and summoning crashed the global servers.
Which was the style at the time?
The game was down for the entire first day that the banners were up, which was about Thanksgiving, so that was a great time. Enjoying time, sitting down with your family, getting mad at Dokkan. Great time. Along with the game being down, people were upset with Akatsuki for moving around units on the banners and even replacing units entirely. Here are the banner lineup changes. For Gogeta's banner, JP's original version was Int Super Gogeta, Tech Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Int Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, Int Super Saiyan Rage Trunks, STR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Physical Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, and Tech Beerus. On Global, it was instead Int Super Gogeta, Physical Omega Shenron, Int Super Saiyan Rage Trunks, Int Buhan, Tech Golden Frieza, Tech Beerus, and STR Super Gogeta. On Janemba's side of things, for JP, it was originally STR Super Janemba, Physical Final Form Cooler, Tech Masked Saiyan, STR Perfect Cell, Tech Merge Zamasu, Physical Goku Black, and STR Omega Shenron. On Global, it was STR Super Janemba, Tech Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Physical Final Form Cooler, Int Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, STR Perfect Cell, STR Omega Shenron, and Int Super Janemba. Which, funnily enough, at the time, people complained about some things being moved around and some cards not being available that they wanted. However, it kind of evened out and ended up being even better, considering Omega Shenron and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta ending up on those banners. Since this meme, people have brought back the idea of a F You celebration back every now and again with memes. Whenever a celebration seems to be particularly rough, people like to break this meme out of storage, even occurring as recently as early Worldwide Celebration 2022. The next entry we have is Awakening LR AGL Spirit Bomb Absorbed Goku. A decent amount of players had trouble fully awakening LR AGL Super Saiyan Spirit Bomb Absorbed Goku due to his awakening from TUR to LR requiring medals from the Android 13 story event, Super Android 13. This happened on both JP and Global, but we'll focus on Global here since the event was added to JP's Portal of Memories without the event even returning. Players who didn't farm the medals from the event's initial release were completely locked out of fully awakening LR Spirit Bomb Absorbed Goku. This also includes anyone who pulled the Goku after the 13 event was already gone. The general rule of thumb for events is that an event needs to return at least once after its initial release in order for it to be added to the Portal of Memories and become accessible with keys. For global players, this was a really long wait, as the event didn't return until December 2020, and the story event originally released in April of 2020 for global. Lesson being, farm stuff for the units, even if you're not going to summon for them, or don't think you're going to pull them, or don't pull them. Grind them up just in case. The next entry we have here is Dokkan and Trident. Dokkan and Trident are tools that were used to mod Dokkan and implement a plethora of different features and customization options. Dokkan was created by Thieving 6, and Trident was created by Hydros. These tools allowed for the creation of private servers where players could use units before they're actually available to be used in-game, use units fully maxed out, potential in links, and access any unit in the game. These tools also allowed for modding and customization, with some modding not even needing to be in a private server. Examples include custom wallpapers, custom units, removing the diamond background on cards, which should just be in the game at this point, allowing for manual orb changing in fights, and auto farming, which we kinda have now, etc. These tools have caused a bit of controversy, as there are some people that think modding is wrong or hurting the game. They think that this is what's causing the crackdowns for Dokkan with things like Safety Net. But most people, though, think that as long as the players aren't fully cheating, like botting in the World Tournament, cheating for fast event clears to beat out leaderboards, etc., then there's no real harm done since it's those players' choice to mod, and Dokkan is almost entirely a single-player experience anyway. With the further implementation of Safety Net, though, these tools kind of reached an end. However, there are still some private servers out there that, if you know the right people, you can get access to, I guess. But as far as really easy accessible modding, it's about over. These last few entries here on this tier are the first set of entries that we'll be covering that were pulled from commenting / non-main iceberg users on the sub and anywhere else. So these kinds of entries will be given their specific credit where credit is due. The first of these entries for this tier is Tech SR Vegeta worth 1000 Baba points, commented by Reddit user u/AskingCarpet. The SR Tech Super Saiyan Vegeta, released in 2015, is an anomaly, as this card is worth 1000 Baba points in the Baba shop, which is weird for a summonable SR, as all other summonable SRs are only worth 500 Baba points. There's been some similar issues with this with other cards that will be mentioned later, but those are considered bugs and issues and fixed by Akatsuki. But this one card has never received a change or any kind of mention from them, so I guess this Vegeta is just worth more. The next entry we have is Hercule on the Left, submitted by a now deleted Reddit user. On June 25th, 2018, the summon animations were updated to an entirely different format. These contain different characters from the series flying in with Goku, and certain combos can mean different things, such as a guaranteed Dokkan Fest exclusive in that summon. Before these, though, the old animations were different, presenting only Goku about to perform a Kamehameha to then summon for cards. There were some animations added to this screen as well, such as Saiyan pods in the background, 0 to 7 pods appearing with 7 meaning a guaranteed SSR, Shenron appearing in the background, which was really rare and also guaranteed in SSR, and Hercule flying in on either the right or the left side. In the days of these older animations, it was theorized that Hercule on the left meant that you would be getting a higher rarity card, usually an SSR, with some people theorizing it meant a better card than just an SSR, LR or Dokkan Fest exclusive. These theories were never really confirmed, but there were still arguments to be made. And finally, we reach the last entry of Tier 3. Super Saiyan 3 equals Ultra Instinct. Commented by Reddit user u/unoify. In January 2021, for the New Year's celebration, both versions received the coveted New Year's Dokkan Fest Step-Up banner. This banner features every Dokkan Fest exclusive up to a certain cutoff point, usually a few Dokkan Fest releases prior to the banner's release, almost every LR up to a certain cutoff, usually a few LRs prior to the banner's release, and also a step-up feature, which guarantees certain classifications of Dokkan Fest exclusive cards such as Easy A's, Super/Extreme leads, category leads, and also a guaranteed LR at the last step, with chances to pull anything in those steps at any other point, even outside its contained step, such as an LR in the first step-up summon of 20 stones. During the 2021 banner, some older summonable LRs were removed from the pool to make way for newer LRs. There was an issue with this on Global though, as LR STR UI Sign Goku was only able to be pulled as the guaranteed LR in the last step. This was an error, as he should have been available as a card in any slot on all of the other steps. Instead, people were noticing that they were pulling LR Tech Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who was found to be available in all steps. This issue caused Akatsuki to temporarily take down the banner for 41 hours to fix the issue. Generous compensation was given. Any players who summoned on the step-up banner got all of those stones refunded, however their progress on the banner remained the same. For example, someone in the middle of their second round stayed in the middle of their second round when the banner came back. And every player who summoned or not received 10 stones for the issue. This did kinda suck for anyone who pulled that Super Saiyan 3 Goku though, because that could have been UI Sign Goku, which was very good at that time and upset a lot of people that they didn't get him. And with that, Tier 3 of the Dokkan Battle Iceberg has come to a close. This video has been in and out of production for the better part of 4 years. I apologize for the long wait, but I do hope it was worth it. This one took a lot of work and motivation to complete, so I'm glad it's finally done. Thank you all for your support on the previous tiers and for stopping by to watch this one. After finally finishing this behemoth of a video, I think that Dokkan Iceberg is going to sit on the back burner for a while. I've learned my lesson from promising release windows on these larger videos, so Tier 4 will come out when it comes out. I'll be sticking to the entries from the original Iceberg I compiled, so no new entries with that, but I will of course update the research to fit current context at the time of video production, mentioning any new information or developments that may be relevant to any given entry. In the meantime, I'll still be making videos. I'm planning on expanding my content out and working on videos that don't take 4 years to edit. As of recording this outro, I have an episode of my new Minecraft Better Than Adventure series out, where I discuss what's been going on recently with the channel and myself. Along with that, I will soon be starting a Minecraft InfDev Plus series as well. The Better Than Adventure series will be more akin to channels such as Monster, focused on laid-back gameplay and just kinda talking about whatever while playing Minecraft. While InfDev Plus will focus on me exploring the mod and seeing what all it has to offer. There's also some other ideas that I have in the pipeline, but I won't discuss those until those are more fleshed out, so stay tuned. With the shackles of Tier 3 now finally broken, I'm really looking forward to doing more with this channel, with new series, videos, and possibly streams. Including Dokkan and all of that, I haven't forgotten what got me here in the first place, don't you worry. Also, feel free to check out my other endeavor over on Bumbo Time. This is where myself, my brother, and our friend stream games. Usually the finals, but we branch out every now and again. We also have a YouTube channel for that with highlights and cool, funny videos up there from the streams, so feel free to check all that out if you're interested. Again, Thank you all so much for your support of this channel and me and my content. I hope you all stick around and check out what's coming next. Maybe even like and subscribe if you're feeling so inclined. I'll catch you all in the next one, and eventually for Tier 4 of the Dokkan Battle Iceberg. See you later.